Good morning, my peoples. It's your boy, Sincere 70, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. The pad. You know what I'm talking about? Yo, I'm feeling pretty good today, y'all. Today is going to be a very eventful day for me. We got Venoms going on down here in Florida, getting the grow kits together for the people who had ordered their mushroom grow kits, getting ready to ship those out so people can get to, creating their own organic technologies in the privacy of their own home. You understand what I'm saying? So that's always dope. M. Jax, peace, was popping. K. Lon, you already know. And anybody tapping in on the stream, y'all know I can't see who y'all is, but I see you out there. Salute. So today we're going to talk about a little bit more of the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner training class. We've been discussing that a little bit. We got somebody who signed up for the January class, so it's starting to fill up. Got a couple peoples. We got some interest in it, and a couple more questions, comments, concerns. I'm always here for it. So, if anything comes up for you, got any questions, comments, concerns, you want to know something, please go ahead and type it in the chat. Go ahead and send it in the comments. I will discuss it while we are live. And I always ask, please, well, I don't always ask, but when there are videos that I feel like can be shared and it's not personal and it's not my own shit that some people want to hear and don't, but more about educational shit and opportunities, I ask that you share those. So if you're watching, please share the video. And after you do, type 7 in the comments. I like to know who my supporters of my videos are. So that's that. So today we are discussing the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner training class and the aspect that we're going to talk about. If you watched my video yesterday, we spoke about the difference between an administrator and a facilitator and a practitioner. You know, what a practitioner is, what they do, what their duties are, what they must be able to do as compared to the administrator and the facilitator who are just that, right? So that was a dope-ass discussion. But in the very beginning, if you remember, I spoke on a brother of mine speaking about the importance of the ceremonial aspects. And I felt that it was important to speak first about an administrator and a facilitator and a practitioner so we could get the understanding. Rashana, peace. So we could get the understanding, thank you for sharing, baby, of what it is that we do as administrators, facilitators, and practitioners. So then when we have a firm grasp on that understanding, then to speak about what it is, hey, how y'all doing? To speak about what it is that we must offer our clients in the terms of speaking on the differences of the clinical, the ceremonial, and the container. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today is we had to talk about administration, facilitation, and practitioner so that we could understand the different realms that an individual might dive into to be a person who supplies this. Now that we've done that, now we can speak about how a person might do that when they supply this. And that's what the talk is about today. This is a cushion coffee, so I will be smoking cannabis. If you're on my stream, y'all, I always send the warning across. Let me talk about that real quick. I have had people in my past or, in passing or in conversations who have asked me, hey, do you have some information that I can share with people who are interested in what it is that you do and what you have? And I said, yeah, I got videos. Let me tag you. Let me connect you. Let me show you this, right? And I've had people come back to me and say things such as, well, the environment that we are in and the people that we deal with, I don't think that we can send them these videos to learn about what it is that you do or what you offer, because in them you have a urban type of presentation and you're smoking cannabis, which some individuals don't do. Let me tell y'all, for about 2 or 3 days, I was like, you know what? I can understand where they're coming from, and maybe I need to change how I present myself. And I need to show that this is this and that's that, and this ain't this and that ain't that, and that, I can be professional and I can be. And I was like, after a few days, I said to myself, wait, what are we talking about here? Why would I switch up and change the way I present myself to individuals who are considering um, contacting me for works or business? And I decided against it. I'm not going to do videos where I'm like, no, I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to speak in a certain way. I'm not, because no matter how politely individuals try to speak on this, what they're really saying is, the people that where I'm from, whether they be white or whether they be Christian or whatever, they're going to look at this and they're going to look down upon you. And I would really like them to support you, and I would like them to reach out to you. So I need you to show them that you're something different than what you actually are, so that they can be comfortable with you and reach out to you and offer you money. Well, nah, because the truth of the matter is, I have not yet had a ceremony that I can think of where I didn't speak the way I speak, or that I didn't smoke my sacred plant medicine, or that I didn't conduct myself with integrity. And those things have nothing to do with one another. So I've decided that if there are people who feel some type of way about the way I present myself, about the way I talk, about the color of my skin, about the place that I was raised at, about my military duty, about anything else that you can make a personal judgment call and say, I don't think that this person is meant to serve me, to heal me, or to help me, because I am judging them because of the things that they are that I'm not, then I don't really need you as my client. If the color of my skin bothers you, you're not supposed to be my client. If the way that I present myself bothers you, you're not supposed to be my client. And if me smoking my sacred plant medicine bothers you, then you don't need to come to me for your assistance. Because I'll tell you this, none of the things that you do are going to stop me from working with you, unless those things lack integrity, lack respect, and lack the ability for an individual to be themselves unapologetically in their own skin. So with that being said, if my smoking bothers you, go ahead and log off, block me, delete me, and find your assistance, help, or whatever else that you're looking for somewhere else. I'm not here to impress you, and I'm not here to make you feel like, oh, I am the type of person that, no, I'm not here to make you feel anything. So, just wanted to address that. Those of you all who I'm talking to, you know who I'm talking to. And it is with all respect for both of us. So with that being said, let's get into our talk. So the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training Class is a class that is offered right now here in America. It is going to be next year, 4 times a year, quarterly, starting in January. So then 4 months later, 4 months after that, 4 months after that. It's a 6-day intensive class with about 18 lectures and labs. And you come, you do all those lectures, you do all those labs, you graduate, you get certified, you leave with your medicines, with your ability to purchase more medicines, certification to practice these medicines, and a community of practitioners to share with. Okay? So now that we've discussed that, right? I'm learning how, like, further questions are the things that be coming to me every video. I'm learning more and more how to craft them and how to give the information needed in a certain order that people can go, oh, that's what we talk about. Okay, cool. So with that being said, I wanted to speak about the understanding of the containers that a sacred animal venom practitioner might practice in. When I say containers, think of that as the spaces. Containers are something that contains things. So this contains the works that we offer. So as I spoke about yesterday, when you're dealing with these sacred animal venoms, they are utilized for multiple um, purposes. Spiritual, tapping into, tuning into, character growth and development, and what I like to call harm reduction specialist services. That means that there is something internally that is causing you harm. I specialize in reducing that harm, and my goal and purpose is to reduce it to the point of elimination. So, with that being said, if you present what you do, if you are a practitioner like that, this is where you stay away from some of the Western societies. What's the word I'm looking for? The things that they own. They own the name of diseases. They own the names of cures. They own, I believe, the word cure. I believe they own the word treatment, right? So a lot of these words, when you are harm reduction specialists, you need to use these words to protect yourself from the FDA, from the FBI, from the alphabet people, and the powers that be in the Western society. Because if you say, hey, I can treat that, I can cure that, I can, they coming for your ass, boy. They coming for your ass, girl. Right? So we have to be very cautious about how we speak about servicing our people. So, with that being said, when I'm talking about these containers, this is the containers that we're holding, and these are the things that are going on within these containers: growth and development, character growth and development, spiritual attunement, and harm reduction specialist services. So, again, my brother said, I think it's very important that, and he was talking about him teaching, that when I teach, that I make sure that I speak about the importance of the ceremonial aspects of the snake venoms and the cambo. And I was like, oh, well, let me explain something to you. And the video we're about to do now is what I explained to him. But before I go into that, I did tell him, but I think you need to stick with that idea, because every practitioner has their own practice, their own modalities, their own ways of operating. And I've always taught, don't go nowhere telling no clients somebody else did their works wrong. Somebody else did something they shouldn't have did. I don't speak on other snake venom practitioners. They teach different things than I teach. I am quite aware that there are snake venom practitioners out here who teach to the community to come and get snake venom while you're pregnant to create super babies the way that we use mushrooms to increase and enhance the abilities of our children. I personally don't agree. I personally, in my classes, teach no pregnant woman should get cambo or snake venom. Is he wrong? No, he wasn't trained by me. Whatever he says, he's responsible for. Whatever he does, he's responsible for, right? Some individuals might tell you not to let or allow people to do magic on you. Well, if you don't know no magicians, then that might be a good idea. But if you know more magicians, sorcerers, mystical artists, and you know some of the highest, you know what I'm saying, operating individuals, and you know they work, then you might not be worried. That person who's saying don't might not know people who qualified. So they're saying don't even do that when you do this, because in itself is the measuring stick of the world. So I'm saying all of that to say, respect other practitioners, respect other people's works, and one-on-one, discuss. If you do something different than they do, discuss it with them. One-on-one. If you're a practitioner, you should be able to sit and say, listen, I heard you was telling people blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. That's because, you know, when I do it, I make sure that blah, 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 or blah, 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 or, you know, different aspects. Oh, that ain't my cup of tea. I don't deal with it. I deal with, when I take people in through their gatekeeping, right, and trip sitting. When I take people in on their 7-gram trips, I don't deal with people who are on SSRIs and psychotic medicines. I know individuals who do. They specialize that in there, and they're not worried, or it's not something harmful or dangerous to them. For me, I don't have that training. I don't have that knowledge. I won't do it. You see what I'm saying? So, with that being said, the brother that I was speaking to, he is a very spiritually inclined and in tune person. So for him to teach the cultural and ceremonial aspects of the Venoms during the ceremonies is in tune with who he is. And that's why I told him, yes, you should. Now, as the teacher of the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner training class in America, this is the only place that you can come to and learn about learn about and become certified and be given access to the Cambo, snake venom, and bufo, right? So for me, I have a wider range of attention and intention when I teach. So I teach that there are different aspects. So we're going to start off with the one we will keep talking about, which is just the cultural or ceremonial. Let me be clear. It's actually, when I refer to it as teaching, it's a ceremonial setting. Now, in that ceremonial setting, it can be cultural or religious. So we got the Venoms up here, ceremonies. You got these three different containers that I'm going to speak of, right? One of them is ceremonial. One of them is clinical, and one of them is container. So when we go into the ceremonial section, this is saying that if I'm holding a Venoms application, I'm going to hold it in this ceremonial aspect. Now, before I go further, let me give you all the understanding that when you do an intake with your clients as Sacred Animal Venoms practitioners, you will inquire with them during the intake what is it that they are more comfortable with. And I'll tell you why later on. No, I'll tell you why now. Matter of fact, why wait? The reason you want to ask them what they are comfortable with is because we are already known as alternative medicine. So you got to keep in mind that that means that these people made the decision to come see you and deal with you instead of what they already had access to. The first thing that you need to know is why. Why did you come to me instead of going to the other places that you already had access to? Why is that important to me as a practitioner? Because that means that there was somewhere else you already could have went and you was like, I'm not going there. I need to know what that was and why, so I can make sure that I don't put that energy on you. Let me tell y'all, the majority of the clients that I have are people who have PTSD with Western medicine. That means they've already dealt with hospitals. They've already dealt with doctors. They've already dealt with treatment plans and medicines. And none of it worked. And now they have a disdainment. Or they dealt with all of it and it went horrible. They dealt with all of it and something bad happened. They watched somebody else deal with it and those people were not healed. Something bad happened. They were made worse. This will give you a post-traumatic stress that when it comes to the Western medicine, you're avoiding it. So if I'm asking my client, are you preferring a ceremonial, a a clinical, or a um, container? This is what we're talking about. And so a lot of my clients will tell me, no, I don't even fuck with no doctors. I did this, I did that. Them people don't be knowing nothing. They don't know nothing about diet and nutrition. He don't even know that this is connected to this, and they don't have no spirituality. They don't have no, and they really off it. So they're looking for that ceremonial, that reconnection with that which is once with them, that natural practice that we've always had, that attunement and connection with the planet, with the ancestors, with, all of these different energies and things that make their experience feel more fulfilling, right? It makes them feel more fulfilling. So you want to know. So if they tell me they want cultural over clinical, it's going to be totally different. Now, I had a buddy of mine who one day seen some pictures of me in, some of the places I was at, serving the medicines and whatnot. And he said, he came in my inbox and he said, "Hey man, I'm proud of you. I'm glad to see you out here doing your thing," because he knows me from way back when. He said, "But I just wanted to make you aware that in that picture, when you were serving that medicine, you weren't wearing any gloves." And I laughed and I didn't respond to him. And I meant to, but I didn't. But what that brother don't know is, no, we don't wear gloves and wear scrubs and use alcohol pads and all of the clinical things in ceremony. In ceremony, we are very natural, very in tune with the waters, the land, the earth, the air, the elements that be, each other. I'm wiping saliva and vomit off of people's mouths and sweat off of their head. And this is not something I'm like, oh, let me put some gloves on. I don't like, no, you good, you all right, I'm holding. It happens. If you're purging and your hair falls forward and it slaps off, I might grab it and wipe that out and pull it back and tie it up for you. You know what I'm saying? In a cultural setting, we are not concerned with a lot of things because we're in a spiritual, how do you explain to people who are not there? We are in the realms of the spirit. We are protected. We are, now don't get it twisted, we're not doing any, you know what I'm saying? It's not like we are actually exchanging, right? Anything like that. So that's what I'm saying is in the ceremonial setting, it is a lot more naturally inclined. We are like family in the spiritual realm. I know you, you know me, we are one, however it might be. So we got paper towel, we got tissue. Listen, when we sit and do rabe in a circle, everybody's blowing their nose, throwing the tissue, spitting in the bucket. You might spit for 5 minutes and pass it around. Everybody using the same bucket. Some places this is not in ceremony. And there's people who need and want ceremony for the divine linkage, for the spirit, for the thing. They a lot of what they're going through and what's happening is because they don't have a village, because we haven't mourned together, because we haven't done the medicine works together. These things are supposed to happen as a village. And as a village, we are in ceremony. And we're not worried about these different things. I'm not sure who Gim, him, BRTY2. I don't speak Arabic, good brother, so I'm not sure what, I'm saying, you said. Um, so when it comes to a cultural setting of applying the venoms, this is what we're leaning towards. Now, let me be clear, there's a difference between cultural and religious. Some people will say, I wanted ceremonial, but they wanted a religious ceremonial. So they might want, a cross with Jesus on it, with the snake right next to it, and, I don't know, but this is their decision and their choice. And I've talked to other practitioners, ain't no Jesus going on my altar. And I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this about the client? When I'm serving my healing modalities to my people, I'm not forcing them to get it in a way that I believe in, right? So there's a certain training that I took that when I went, I noticed that the practitioner, first would any client, every client, male or female, when he greets them, he will greet them with a long hug. He will hold them. Like when they come in, he holds his arm and it's like he holds them for right. And I know that this practitioner is basically feeling and understanding that you have no idea what you were about to go through, the experience, the exchange, the change. Oh, this is such a time for you. I'm so happy. I'm so proud. But to me, I'm sitting there, I'm going, no, I won't be doing that. Nope, I do not do that. I do not require or even ever ask for any type of physical contact with any of my clients whatsoever, unless if they walk in and say, "Oh, Seven," and ask me for a hug, I'll oblige. But I never, ever ask for or request or reach for any type of physical contact to any of my clients unless it's necessary in the work. And then when it was time to go into different things, a prayer was done, and I'm very familiar with it, but at the same time, I'm watching the client kind of look like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, for me, this is not a practice that I would do. Now, did I say anything to this practice? Hell no. This is their practice. This is their whatever it might be, and that's what you leave with them. But I was mindful of different things from my point of view. And so when I teach my students, I tell them what I'm telling you all now. We don't need to make any physical contact. I don't need to ask you for a hug. Now, if the shaking your hand when I meet, this is a culturally acceptable thing, right? So I'm saying basically hugs and different things like that, right? And also when you are in ceremony, if you are going to offer a prayer. Now, when I open the medicine circles and we do that opening, that's different. But it's actually saying a prayer over you or during your, if I was to do that, it would be one that you supplied to me. If this is because again, I want your ceremony to be in tune with you. This is not any teachings of mine when we're dealing with the application of the venoms. When you are dealing with the sacred animal venoms, you are doing it for whatever reasons that you put forward. Some might be for protection, some might be for healing, some might be for revelation, some might be for tapping in with the ancestors, some might be for harm reduction. This is the client or the person who is taking it who is to choose that. So with that being said, they should fill that container with the energies that suit them, and you should respect that. If they ask for a cultural and they want to put up their Islamic things on my table, very well be. If they want to put their Christian things on my table, very well be. Now, they will be next to mine. They can never tell me I don't want that on the table with mine. Now, there we might have a problem. You can put anything of your practices onto my altar to add to your cultural experience or even build your own, but you cannot tell me to cover mine up or to get rid of mine. So that's a balance that I have. My altar's not moving. If there's something on there that offends you or that you don't like, that's something you need to take up with yourself, right? Because I'm not telling you can't put your cross with Jesus on there, and that ain't gonna hang up in my house, but on the altar during your work, it's going to be respected. So this is where you can look at that cultural, where we're dealing with the terrestrial respects of the earth and all things being, and the religious aspect. And again, I give that choice to the clients. So that would be what I would call the ceremonial type of container. Now, you might have some clients or how would I say containers that require or leave it be to move into the clinical type of container. different. Oh my goodness, was I muted all that time? Pardon myself, y'all. So switching to a clinical setting from a ceremonial, this is where the things that I'm doing and how I'm operating are going to change. In a ceremonial setting, there is no paperwork to fill out with all of your information and all of these things but in a clinical setting, it is. I'm going to have all your information. I'm going to keep note of it. I'm going to keep track of it, right? I'm going to have this somewhere where we can go back and refer to, right? So that's one big difference between ceremonial and clinical is there's no paperwork in ceremonial. In clinical, there is. Now, in ceremonial, you might do a waiver or something of the nature, but you might not, right? But clinical, all of these types of things you would have present. You would wear gloves while you're doing your work. You would use the alcohol pads to prep. There's going to be follow-up. There's going to be there's going to be a lot more of education in the clinical, right, as opposed to the ceremonial, right? So that is a big difference as well. So let me think, what else? Also, during a ceremonial, some practitioners will wear scrubs, right? If you want to give your clients the comfort of feeling as if they are receiving, the treatments that they would from the mindset that is comfortable. Because for a lot of people, just the idea of alternative medicine makes them like a little bit like, I guess, right? So when they get there, this is where like things like smoking. If an individual says they want a clinical setting, there's not going to be any smoking there. Like, you understand? That would be something that they're letting me know. That's why I said this is known in the intake. Do they know I smoke? Of course. There's nobody who knows me that goes through any works with me that doesn't know my number one sacred plant medicine. She was there from the beginning, and she was the one who brought all this about, and I haven't left her yet. We take breaks, but you know what I'm saying? I don't see it as how other people see it, right? So these things need to be known. But at the same time, if you're requesting a clinical setting, this is for you. This is for your comfort, your safety, and your overall feelings of confidence, right? So have you ever went into a doctor's appointment and somebody smoking? No. Have you went to ceremony and people smoking? Yes. Right? So yes, there will be a very big difference in that, right? Because this is your client if you choose to accept them. I do not take on a whole lot of clinically requested work. Just being honest. I have other people that I can send them to if they want that type of environment. When you come in, they got the blood pressure medicine and the coupling and the oxygen machine and do all of it while doing sacred animal medicines. But there's a clinical setting to her. And she's got the setup, and I'll be like, you should call them. I operate more in a ceremonial in my comfort zone. Now, should I have a client that comes to me that whatever it is that they're presenting is a case that I really, really want to deal with, then I would have to make the decision to say, I'll take that on, and they want clinical, I will do it. And I will present myself and carry myself in that manner because I decided to work with the client just like that. They got to choose you and you got to choose them. It's got to be a symbiotic relationship, right? So if you watch Doctor Strange in the beginning, the first one, when he's in the car right before he gets in the accident, listen to what he's talking about. He has these people who are coming to him saying, I want to work with you. And he's saying, yeah, no, I don't want to work with them because blah. I don't want to work with them because of this, right? And he's got his different reasonings, and whether they depend on his comfort or the client's, or how he'll look, or how the client will look, or all of these. So it's the same thing. So the third and the final aspect of administrations that I teach about is what we call the container. It's like, well, I thought all of these are containers. They are. but they are containers that have been created to give something, right? So one of them gives the ceremonial and religious or cultural comforting, and one of them gives a clinical setting, right? But what about the people who are coming because they are dealing with harm reduction specialist services for something internally, and they have to get their treatment maybe once or twice every month for 3-4 months? Are they going to do a ceremony every time they come? Nah. Are they going to want, or even just did they in the beginning want clinical? No. So if we're not doing a ceremony and we're not doing it cultural and we're not doing it clinically, what are we doing? We're doing a respectful container for administration. That's it. The people who have come to me who have different ailments within their body that they have to meet with me every month. They fly to me sometimes. I fly to them sometimes. When we meet up, we just create a container of administration. I make sure that there's good entertainment, whether it be music, conversation. We might have, some documentary playing in the back. I'm gonna cook food. We're gonna eat. We're gonna enjoy each other's company, right? If we smoke, we're gonna be smoking, and I administer the medicines right there, wherever we're at, right? Sometimes we do it outside, sometimes we do it inside, and these people have become like family and friends to me because I keep seeing you every month, and we come together, and but I don't turn it into a ceremony. But at the same time, I'm not coming at them like they're in the doctor's office every month because that's not what they want either. So we just create a container for administration. It is just a very respectful, very comfortable container where we're all at. We're enjoying each other. We're enjoying the atmosphere. If it's nice weather out, we like to sit out on the balcony and sit and talk, and we go through a lot of different conversations. It's really just kind of like a village of people getting together and spending 3 or 4 days together and then going back home. And we do it every month. I don't do it ceremonially. I don't bring religious aspects into it. I don't bring cultural. I wear my mud cloth every time I administer. That's me. That's me. When I put that mud cloth on, I know where I'm at. I know what I'm here for. I know what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm supposed to be focused on. For me, that's how that works with me. There's a certain protection mechanism within the mud cloth to keep my energies in and other people's energies out. There's just so many different aspects. So for me, that is something that is consistent that you might see. I might have scrubs on with a mud cloth. This thing's silly, right? But remember that it's not just safety for the client, but also for me. I need to feel safe. I need to feel whole. I need to feel integrity, right? Just like how I said, I am not going to stop smoking while I'm doing my films and my different things. Now, if I do a commercial, am I gonna be smoking? Probably not, but maybe. When they put me on the front page of the Detroit Free Press, they put me on there smoking. Do you think I am hiding this from anyone? If it makes them uncomfortable, so be it. Just to be clear, that's the reason why I don't accept clinical clients, people who request the clinical setting. I will send you to another practitioner that I know because that don't make me feel safe. It makes me feel like I'm doing more, or no, it makes me feel like I'm presenting more than I truly am. I make it very, very clear. I'm a witch doctor, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professionist. I'm not any of those types of things. So for me to put on scrubs and to wear the rubber gloves and the alcohol, unless I'm about to do some mycology work, that's when I'm wearing all that. But to do all of that while I'm serving, it makes me feel like I am in the Western medicine's realm of things that I'm not. And if I see one of them wearing a mud cloth, I'm going to be very offended and be like, yo, what you doing? trying to present yourself as, because you're not that. You're not in tune with the planet and the things that be. You're not in tune. And they would hit me with, like, yo, you ain't, you know what I mean, went to school for da-da-da-da-da-da. You don't know, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you're like, hold on. I know more about your shit than you know about mine. And that's for sure. However, you are right. I don't have any letters behind my name. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I am a village medicine man. And I use the modalities that the earth presents. I don't use synthetic, you know what I'm saying? For me, it'd be so hard to even call their shit medicines. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And if we're gonna call theirs medicines, then don't call mine medicines. It's like, we need a clear separation from the two. You know what I'm saying? So as sacred animal venoms practitioners, we have natural modalities of healing that come from the planet, so they are in tune with you, because we come from the planet. These synthetic things that they're using, all of these man-made things that they're using, don't work. No, excuse me. Don't work in tune with your body. They don't work in tune with your body. Said they the ones with the drugs. Facts. Thank you. Exactly. We use natural medicines. They use drugs. Peace. Thank you. Who is that? 222. Shout out to you, 222. Thank you for that. Right. So with that being said, I don't lean into there. But again, depending on the client. Okay, let me go ahead and switch this ticker to, if you are interested in becoming a sacred animal venoms practitioner, there's the website for those of y'all who are on the StreamYard. If y'all not checking me on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, aka The Pad, please go to YouTube, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? You can catch the videos, watch them live, you know what I'm saying, get all the tickers and all of that. So for those of y'all who watching me on the gram and all of that, you know what I'm saying, or the book, please go and subscribe to the YouTube. Yeah, I made that. Everybody kept saying, you ain't got a YouTube, you ain't got a YouTube, you ain't got a YouTube. All right, I made one. So now what? I don't know, like, what y'all do with those separately. I'm not really one who be big on the social media and all the different platforms and how people be following people. So I didn't even know that people follow people through YouTube. But I'm like, okay, it's dope. So I set it up. So follow me on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I want people to know who I am. If you are interested in dealing with the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner training, I don't want to present myself to be something and then you get here and be like, hey, this dude, he kind of hood. I thought he'd be on the videos, he'd be wearing the scrubs and he'd be talking all sophisticated and using all them big words that he knows. I use those when I sit at the table with those people who talk like that. I was always taught, know before whom you stand and adjust yourself accordingly. I'm a civilized man and I can do that. I can go to a black tie event and sit at a table with, you know what I'm saying, some physicians and talk healing. And I will use those words because those are the words that they understand. But the majority of my community are not, you know what I'm saying, college graduates. Let me just be clear. The majority of my community, the majority of my clients, and the majority of, well, half of my students have been college graduates. So I don't know. That's a 50-50 thing. But what I'm saying is, I don't mind speaking very basic. I don't need to impress. I don't need to present anything, because when you come to class, this is how I talk. When you come to class, I smoke while teaching the class. Don't say that on a public platform, please. I need you all to know. I don't bring any spiritual, religious, or cultural aspects into my teachings. What my spiritual practices does not matter during class. What my religious practices don't matter during class. What my sexual preference don't matter during class. My race don't matter during class. My extracurricular activities don't matter during class. None of this shit matters. The only things that matter during class is the things that we are studying and learning about at that time. My class, when you are at my class, you can eat what you want. You can do it. People was in my class eating pork. Let me just be clear. For those of y'all who know me, you'll be like, wait, what? And yeah, yes, right? Like, no, I don't have no, like, that's not, my preferences and choices of nothing matters during class. This is a place of education. And I have people from all sets of life, all over the U.S., all different backgrounds, all different races, creeds, sexuality, preferences, everything. I don't give a fuck. Don't judge me. I won't judge you. You want to get educated? You want to be one of the best sacred animal venoms practitioners they are in America? I can make that happen for you. That's all that we coming together for. You all right with me? I'm all right with you. Let's move. Right? So if you have a passion for teaching, you have a passion for healing, you have a passion for helping your peoples, you have different practices that cause you to be one with your community, your family, your friends. You have different modalities of helping people to heal, to focus, to get to the next level they're trying to get to, and you want to add on to your resume, then maybe we should have a call. Maybe you should get a consultation to see if the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner training class is right for you. Now, if you have no practices, you have no modalities of healing, and you have no history of helping, healing, or doing anything with your people, but you want to, maybe you need a consultation call. Maybe we need to see if the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner training class is a good start for you to be introduced into the healing community so that you can get a foot, firm grasp, understanding on what you do, and then move on to learn the other ones. Oh, all of these birds flying over me, and one of them dropped a bomb right next to me. Oh my goodness, they was aiming for me. So with that being said, I invite you all to tap in to, how can I say, the idea. Just allow it to flow through your consciousness. Is this something that I could see myself doing? And if your consciousness leads you to it, then we'll have a consultation call. Hey, what's up, little birdie? Oh my goodness. Okay, so apparently there's a message from the birds for me today, because they're definitely making themselves known, and this is quite odd. Okay, so with that being said, okay, there are all type of birds coming over here. Okay, so with that being said, I've got to go and commune with the birds, figure out what they're trying to tell me. So until next time, tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.